Okay, please, any honorable member to second that nomination. Please, let's do this fast. Let's nominate a 7-member panel, vetting panel, and someone to second Honorable Felix nomination. Honorable Victor.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate my health is actually
Okay. Please, I'm waiting for nominations. You can nominate yourself. Honorable Peter. Okay, thank you. Honorable Gertrude. What are you doing? Okay. Please, we have to second the nominations for them to hold. So, second it. Honorable Romeo.
I think the legal advisor is constantly honorable. So I don't know why I'm using it. So Article 47, page 25. I'm speaking of the vetting committee. The vetting committee shall
Okay. So please, Honorable Romeo, that vetting committee is the EC. Okay.
It's under the EC, sorry.
All right. Sure. So please, we have 2 nominations. His Excellency Adom and Honorable Ejare. Please, any seconders of the nomination, and also we are asking for nominees. It's a 7-member panel. Honorable Enoch. Okay. His Excellency Sam. Yes, please. Thank you. Honorable Anna. Honorable Fadil. We only have one person. Okay. Please, we have 2 people who haven't seconded yet. So we have only 2, let me say, members of the panel now. Honorable Adom and, sorry, His Excellency Adom and Honorable Akabwa. His Excellency again. Okay, thank you. Okay, there's no man here. Sorry, Honorable Tansi. Okay. Alright. Sorry, Anna. Please, Honorable Portia's nomination, Honorable Romeo's nomination, His Excellency Sam's nominations haven't been seconded. Honorable Felix. No, I don't.
So I want to second Honorable Romeo's nomination.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Harris. Okay. Yes, Please, Harris. Honorable John. We have our seven. Okay, continue. We have our 7 nominees. We have people to second. Unless maybe your nomination will be seconded, then I mean it will take the nominees out. Yeah.
I, for honorable as a member of
Okay. So, Honorable Philip.
the Speaker of the House. I want to second Sister Honorable Mosha.
Okay. It hasn't been seconded. Honorable. There was another hand. Okay. Well, Honorable Victor. That's it.
I want to second the nomination.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think we have a 7-member panel now. The vetting will be done in our presence. So I'll kindly ask the committee chairs in front here to kindly move to the back temporarily. After vetting, you can resume your seat. So our vetting panel will be comprised of Honorable Ejare, His Excellency Adom, Honorable Patrick Akabwa, Honorable Portia, Honorable Romeo, Honorable Harris, and Honorable Kenneth. So kindly please, are they said? Someone could fit. His Excellency Adom, you could fit a seat by in between Honorable Harris and Honorable Romeo. Stella. It's in front there for the audience. We don't want it to sit. I was thinking of people to sit. I mean, after they come in class, when they start with the person.
chair the house. Yeah, I will ask the house to give the vetting committee members some 2 minutes outside for us to put up our criteria that we use to adjudge the nominees so that we all be on the same page. So please allow us 2 minutes for us to do that.
So while the vetting panel is doing that, I will invite the various committees to come forward and introduce yourself to the house, and you could add any other information you the house should know. So for the main EC position, we have Mr. Rex Dasa. If he is here, he could kindly make an appointment. And for the first deputy position, Mr. Destiny, I didn't get us. Mr. Destiny, please here. First deputy position. It is not here. He's not here. The second deputy position, Mr. Spencer Mallory.
He was coming, but there was something urgent that he used to do. Nevertheless, he said the house necessary. So whilst we wait for the I think that is the situation.
Okay. The whole rep, Mr. Dude Francis Yenube, if he is here. Kindly come. And the Hohoi rep, I don't know if it's a Mr. or it's a Miss, so I'll just say Ajiman Boame. If he's here, he could. So Mr. Ajiman Boame, kindly move. Okay, so Mr. Rexford, kindly address the house and introduce yourself to the house.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rexford.
You didn't address the speaker.
Sorry. The speaker in the house. Once again, good morning. My name is Rexford Dasa. I'm a level 500 medical student. And over the years, I've observed happenings in the EC. And last year, I was part of the EC as co-rep for the EC. With that in mind, it gave me the opportunity to know the deeper workings of the EC and also certain problems that arose as a result of the workings of the EC. So today I'm here before you to say that I know there are certain challenges that the EC have faced over the past 5 years that I've been in this school. And me coming here is just to reassure you that with me being the EC, I'll try my possible best and with God's help to ensure that we have a free and fair election for the next year of executives. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker in the House.
Madam Speaker, I'm a female.
Madam Speaker in the House. A very good morning to you all. Francis Dute is my name, a medical laboratory science student, level 300. I've observed happenings in the East, in the electoral processes of UHAS since my level 100 to this stage, and I've held other positions in the school as well. And with the little experience I have had from the positions I have held, coupled with my observations in the electoral processes, I deem it fit to be vetted in and appointed as the whole rep. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker. I'm in a person of Ajamambuami.
And if you are doing it in our presence, then you need
I'm in a person of Ajamambuami.
so
How do you call it? Frederica School of Public Health, level 200 student, health promotion students as well. I'm here. Okay. I'm here to work in the interest of SRC for a free and fair transparency election.
Hello.
Thank you.
Please, can you speak up? Can you speak up, please?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Madam Speaker. I'm in a person of Ajamambuami.
So you address the House, Madam Speaker, and the House.
Madam Speaker,
And the House.
in the House, I'm in a person of Ajamambuami from Frederica School of Public Health, level 200 health promotion students as well.
Okay, thank you very much. So these are people who form part of the Electoral Committee. So while we await the vetting, we await the vetting panel, I think you can have your seat and you'll be called to the podium whilst you'll be asked a few questions. So kindly have your seat while we wait for the vetting panel. The panel just arrived. We'll start with the main EC. Mr. Rexford, please, can you take the podium now? So, that's it.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rexford. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your answer was when you introduce yourself.
Okay.
Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Rexford Dasa. I'm a level 500 medical student. I've served as HOREP in the past EC. I've served as HOREP, or representative of the Electoral Commission, for about some months now. That's about me. Thank you.
As one of your requirements on having a position of an EC, you need to have a GPA of 2.5 and above.
Yes,
So
please.
please, can you show us a proof of this to our honorable bank account that you have made the requirements?
Please, I don't have. So if the portal could be open for me, then I would do that. Yes, please. Or anyone who has internet, it's okay. Just log this out. That's all.
let's start from what portfolios have you held on campus?
Okay. So I've had a lot of portfolios, but a lot of them I've held were in the Medical Student Association. So first of all, I've been what we call a standing committee head for one of the committees called the Standing Committee on Rights and Peace. I was the head last year, and also currently I serve as the vice president of the Medical Students Association, UHAS. So those are the two main positions I've currently held.
So being a leader,
Yes.
with the qualities that you have acquired,
Sorry, I want to add one. I was class president of my class from first year to fourth year.
so what qualities have you acquired that you are going to use in this new position that you have nominated for?
So the first thing I would like is resourcefulness, the ability to be able to talk to people in order to bring them to get to a particular thing. So over the years, it's not just anyhow that I was class president for 4 years before becoming vice president of the Medical Student Association. It's been through a lot of bringing people to a certain agenda, guiding people's thinking about certain things, because as in a class, there are different ways people think about certain things. But I need to bring them in order to ensure that what they are doing is the right thing. Another thing I've also gained over the years is the ability of diligence. Diligence, yes. So how to take things and say what you are going to do, that is what you are going to do. So over the years, if I wasn't diligent, I don't think I would have been elected as the vice president of the Medical Student Association, or I would have been removed from office as class president. So with diligence, I carried my abilities to the best of my abilities by ensuring that all lectures, everything that my class members needed was done, and also ensure that I serve as a bridge between my class students and my lecturers. Another thing is honesty. Over the years, one thing that I've really built is the ability to tell people that I can't be able to do this, I can be able to do that, and whether my abilities are able to match that. Because I think that if you are not able to, if you can't do something, just be honest about it and say, I can't do it, so that a better person or a better option is found than you. It's found to replace you. And with that in mind, that is how I've been able to execute all my duties to the best of my abilities. That is why.
So that's the question that I have.
Yes, please.
With these abilities, how is it going to help in the election processes? Because we know that there's a do and die for some people.
Okay.
How are these qualities going to help in the nation that grant a free and fair election?
With the issue of elections, I think due diligence must be made, because last year like this, there were some issues that arose. I think if due diligence were made, those issues wouldn't have arisen. So with that, I, together with my members, will ensure that all documents, all checks are carried out very well to ensure that there are no issues of legal battles coming up, and the SRC save a lot of money. And also another thing too is being honest with members. I think one thing that SRC, the EC has failed to do is letting members know that at this point in time you are not eligible for certain things, so that people know that I can't come here and be derailed through the whole and be put through the whole process, and at the end I'm not fit for it. So with that, before you even come, I'll ensure that you don't start a process that you can't complete, and let you know that if you are coming, then you are up for the task and you are up to do what you are going to do. Another thing too is also ensuring that the resources we need are very at our disposal. So what I would do is, first, one of the people to conduct a very good election last year was the Legon SRC. Although there were issues that arose, but their elections were smooth and fair, and also tech. So my objective is to get in touch with the SRCs of the various institutions, and also find ways, which they've been using over the years to ensure that their SRCs have been very credible ones over the years, and employ them here so that our SRC is put on a high pedestal. That is
So
what
my last question. You said you were part of the okay, so the Electoral Commission committee as a whole, right?
Yes, please.
What was your role assigned, or the role that you played during the election process?
Okay, so first of all, I was in charge of collating the data of class presidents. So I was directed by the Electoral Commissioner to talk to each and every class president in order to collate the names, the index numbers, and the emails of the class president. Another thing I did was going to the school administration to bring up emails of the students, of the whole, both regular students and sandwich students. I must say that was a very Herculean task because the school was relying on providing us such information because they thought it was really sensitive. But at the end of the day, we were able to get it through the right processes, and we conducted another election on the 7th of February. The first one I did was for the first election, and the rerun on 7th of February, I was the one who was in charge, since most of the EC members were at home, so I was in charge of running those activities when I was in school. Thank you. Yes, please. I was a representative from the whole campus. I wasn't an EC, I was just a representative from whole campus, please. Yes, there are certain things you can do as EC, but there are tasks assigned to you to do. So for example, if you are the representative, you can be told to draft a letter or the constitutional instrument or this and that. So for me, I was drafting most of the letters also. So if there's a letter about a response to this, we need to write to this, we need to write. I was in charge of those ones also. So my roles were limited.
Were you present during the meeting?
No, please, I wasn't present. No, please, I wasn't present. I wasn't part of the panel, and I wasn't present also. I had a class that day, so unfortunately, that restricted me from having. But I was around to organize the place for the vetting on that particular day.
But you were supposed to be part of that committee.
No, I wasn't selected to be part of the committee to vet. Yes, so there is a provision in the Constitution which gives us procedures to follow in order to select a vetting committee member. So I was not part of that panel that selected.
And in any case, were you given the documents concerning the vetting, or were you informed about the whole process?
Yes, I was informed about the vetting.
Were you asked to give any contribution?
No. I think with the workings of the vetting committee, they do this and we take the information and publish that this is what, as to the kind of thought that went to someone giving out this mark, someone giving out that mark, we cannot question them. So what happened that day was, after the vetting was done, the result was really to us, we just need to publish that, this is what the vetting committee gave to each candidate, so we're supposed to publish it. But as to why they gave it, the reasoning behind it, I wasn't privy to that, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. No, please. Yes. One thing that we need to take account is we are not only regular students are not the only people on campus, or they are not the only student body of the institution. Some students are also members of the institution, and as I think we need to be flexible as a commission to enable each and everyone to partake in the process of voting, as it's a right. So for me, I believe that we need to incorporate the two systems. Yes, we need to incorporate the two systems, whereby we have an online system, and we have one which there are polling stations to vote. And from my checks last year, that is what Legon did. It was a very successful election, where those who were not able to, because we have the same kind of problem as Legon, where they have Accra City Campus and others. So for here, where we don't have sound students, we could give them the opportunity to vote online. But I will ensure that the online system is well checked and a very reliable one, so that no questions of electoral irregularities come up. Then those who are on campus and would like to vote through a polling system, but not necessarily using the tampering ballot system, there can be computer station around where people can go and say, I want to vote, and they will be allowed to vote. So that at least those who are not on campus are not disenfranchised from the whole electoral process. So I think emerging of the online system and the polling system will serve a lot of good to the students of UHAS. Thank you.
I want to clear that. I asked that because they won't apply that in the last meeting. So they have two systems of voting, and I think that's enough money, because the polling station is a different software and the and this SRC is always kind of different. So I guess like it's out to the time. That's why I asked. This was clear, and one that is there are
So to be diligent, to save resources, I think a lot of checks and balances on the electoral system are going to can be done if using the two systems would be so burdensome on the SRC. So I think over the years, we should open a bidding kind of for the electoral system, so that everyone comes to test the system, so that we don't give it to one person alone, or we are not held necktie that we should use this system. So I will ensure that if we are going to stick to one system, probably which is going to be the online system, I will ensure that it is very credible, so that anyone who comes will be happy with it. How would I ensure that it is credible? First, I'll open a bidding so that everyone can come and display what he has. And the best available resource that is there will be the one that will be decided by. So it will go through a lot of checks. Maybe we will use it to run other elections, even before we use the main SRC election, so that at least we have that this is the best that we are using, and any other issue that might arise out of it will be dealt with appropriately. So yes, please.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Hello.
No, please. I can swear that can never happen to you. No, please.
Hello.
So you are the vice president of MSC.
Yes, please.
Let's say you are treasurer, maybe on, and know the relationship between vice presidents and their treasurers, or presidents and their treasurers. In case your treasurer decides to contest for a federal position, don't you think the relationship with him can influence your decisions concerning the whole election?
Okay, so I think the Constitution bars association executives from running for SRC election. So if you are an association president or vice, it automatically prevents you. So that is why I can't run for any other election on campus. I myself can run. So with that in mind, that's the first thing. The second thing is, I think there's a professional relationship as to how we deal with such issues. So for me, you are my treasurer. As to how you are running your other electoral process, it is not my business, and I will not inquire about that. But my business is ensuring that there is a free and fair and credible elections. So with that in mind, my relationship with my treasurer will be very professional, and not to ascertain, it will involve me trying to talk about such matters with my treasurer.
Thank you. My questions are very, very brief. So please go ahead and give me brief answers.
Yes,
And
please.
who is the first? Do you follow national elections?
Yes, please.
So who is the first chairman of the Electoral Commission of Ghana?
There have been various electoral
So
commissions.
the first.
Okay.
The first chairman.
Honorable Afarijan.
Honorable.
Yes, please. Dr. Afarijan. Please.
Last question.
Yes, please.
We've witnessed elections going to court
Yes, please.
for like 2 or 3 occasions here in the past. As the EC chair, what do you think is the main problem?
Okay.
And what measures do you intend to undertake to prevent court-related election issues?
Okay. I think over the years, interpretation is one thing that has disturbed our electoral processes. So with me, I will employ the services of a very good lawyer, because the EC's matters are legal most of the times, and those are the things that brings out the legal battles, as in the last election. And interpretation, as I've already stated, is one thing that has. So first of all, a lawyer is one person that will help us, and I know with our CJ and others who are there, who should help us and guide us. I believe that the EC must have its own legal advisor to advise it on its processes, so that such interpretation issues are not. Then the second one too is ensuring due diligence, as I've already stated. Because with due diligence, we are able to fish out all loopholes that a candidate might present to you and be able to rectify them before the electoral process takes place. Another thing too is the vetting committee, ensuring that our vetting committee members are one with very high repute and are able to do the work which is set out for them, so that issues that come out of vetting are prevented. We are humans. There are mistakes that sometimes we do, but pardonable mistakes, we shouldn't perform unpardonable mistakes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I want to ask a simple question. So what would you sacrifice for the electoral commission? What would you sacrifice?
What won't I sacrifice? That's a tough question. I've not really thought about it. I think my love for God needs to be sacrificed. Yes.
You have a lot of things. So you have a lot of characteristics, a lot of qualities, a lot of interest, a lot of passions, and a whole lot. So if it happens that we can't tell what you can't sacrifice for the EC, basically means that any other thing that you find interesting, you are passionate about, you can actually sacrifice for the passion of the people. So what can't you sacrifice for the people? It's a very
There are a lot of things that.
Okay, it's fine. You have been following the national elections, right? What happened at Arsenal?
Okay, so I think as soon of the MP there had dual citizenship.
Okay, that's fine. So where is the case now?
I think now he has been barred from presenting himself as
Who
an
is the
MP.
current chair of the East National East?
Dr. Jean Mensah. Sorry, Madam Jean Mensah.
Who is she?
She's a lawyer.
Why did they give her that position?
I think she's one thing about national election, about being an EC is you need to be able to have a qualification as a lawyer of 12 years standing. So I think she's negotiated that, and I don't know much, but I think she has shown over there.
What are you looking up to for 2024 election? What are your expectations in the national election? Should we still go on to petition again if the results are not good? What is your expectation in 2024 election?
I'm expecting a free and credible election.
How?
I'm expecting that the EC does its due diligence.
Do what means?
Ensuring that 1, the right and appropriate documents are inspected very well. 2, the correct checks are done. And 3, all loopholes that might that might come out are blocked. So that, for example, if someone.
That's fine. Thank you.
Welcome, please.
Mr. Aristo,
Yes, please.
just a question.
Yeah.
What are you going to do so different from honorable debate? And what assurance can you give us that we won't have an election and apart from petitioning the credibility of the election.
Okay. So one, bringing out a very strong CI, which I think last year there were some small issues with it. Yeah. So this year, it's one of the things I've set out to do is bringing out a very strong CI that would ensure that the elections are run very smoothly. The second thing I'll do is also bring on consultations from others. I think so that it's not only the EC members that are thinking for the whole SRC, but also others bringing their opinions in order to enable us run a free and credible elections. So I think with consultations and with advices of others, I think with that we'll be able to know where to be able to direct our energy and resources in order to ensure a free and credible election. Thank you.
You are indirectly assuring us here that should we be giving the position as the Electoral Commission chair, we won't run an election and have to petition this or doubting the credibility of the election.
Rest assured. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Rexford.
Yes.
Mine is about finances. Have you considered the budget for this last?
Yes. Over the last year, as working as OREB, I've been privy to such information.
Can you give us the total budget? Like, okay.
No, please. No, please. I don't.
But you, just as my colleagues are saying, you realize that the SRC is really tight on cash.
Yes, please.
Considering the budget
Yes, please.
last year, you don't have any idea of suggest that you go and have a budget. Then how you are going to try to either will increase or reduce the budget based on the SRC stocks.
Yes, please. Rest assured.
So what ways are you thinking about doing that?
So, one, I need to have I think I'll first start with consultations from the ODC. Yes, and I think there are certain things they did right, which I'll first do. Yeah. Then also, I think...
But hold on, there are certain things they did right, so which means you know some of the things they did wrong.
Yes, I've already stated...
You were part of the commission.
Yes, there are certain things to which I was able to do as a committee member, as a commission member. Some information are not... for example, if it's the drawing of a CI, I wasn't part of the members that do the CI, so I will not know much. If it's a vetting issue arising, that one, I'm not part of the vetting committee. But what I've been able to do, I mentioned one, collation of data for the election, I was able to do two. And
when you were made privy to the budget?
Yes, I was made privy to the budget.
You saw the components of the budget?
Yes, please.
What did you have to say about the budget?
So, first of all, I consulted with the deputy EC, and we discussed ways in which we can reduce the amount. But unfortunately, the system we were using, so we tried to find other systems, and I even contacted someone in order to run us a different system, but it was rather expensive than the one which we're trying to see. If you can remember, there's one called my thumbprint which I was trying to secure, but they were quoting their figures already in dollars, so I couldn't even talk to them to reduce their fares. So with that in mind, I tried ways and means that could ensure that we got other systems, but unfortunately they were rather so expensive, so I needed to stick to what my bosses were doing. And also,
so then we are hoping that in this, if you are approved in this coming election, we are hoping for efficient but quite affordable.
Yes,
methods
please.
and ways we are really doing.
Yes, please. One thing I've also tried to do is we should be able to ensure that our resources are able to match our needs. So we don't move out of our needs, and in order to be able to find extra resources, in order to find.
But you found, sorry about that, but you found problems with the old one.
Yes.
And you are going to go back to them.
I didn't say I am going to go back to it. I said I'll start with consultation from them. Okay. Because consultation takes into account different things. So maybe we might not use it at all. Yes. So I will find out other ways and means that we can be able to find maybe a better system at an affordable price in order to ensure a credible election for each and everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
So I'll call Mr. Francis.
Okay, my name is Francis Yenupe, level 300 medical laboratory science student. My name is Francis Yenupe, a level 300 medical laboratory science student.
Mr. Francis, what position have you been nominated for? What position have you been nominated for?
Co-rep for the Electoral Commission.
Has been nominated for that position.
For the full rep.
Yes.
So there's something in the constitution that
Now, as tension builds up between Ukraine and Russia, local airline operator Passion Air has suspended flights to the Volta regional campus.
What's the full meaning of SVBS? I don't know either.
now as tension builds up between Ukraine and Russia, local airline operator Passion Air has suspended flights to the Volta regional campus.
What's the full meaning of SVBS? I don't know either. Oh yes, it's your girl Christina again, and I am back with a big bang. UHAS and its environs, where I and the team will dig deep, both on and off campus, to bring you all the juicy stuff you would want to hear. When the news hit the street, we would be there to cover it. All the trending issues would also be delved into, where we would have a short interview with both students
nominees for the electoral position, that is the chairperson and the 2 deputies, but unfortunately we were able to just vet the chairperson. So we had criteria that we used in judging, and it was based on 5 criteria. And the first criteria was the requirement in the SRC constitution, that is, you're supposed to get a CGP of 2.5 and above. And there are certain conditions in the SRC that affect an executive officer, so that should also be considered. Then the knowledge in elections and how he has held other portfolios and other things were considered in grading or in awarding marks to the individual who is supposed to come here to be vetted. So putting it together, the total mark is 50. So each of the vetting panel is supposed to award a mark of 50. After which, when we add, a total will still be 50. Because when you add the 50, you are getting 350. Divided by 7 is still 50. The pass mark was scheduled for 35, which is 70% of it. So at the end, we vetted only Rexford Dasa, and he had an average of 40.14. But the committee also has a reservation, which has been made, that when you open the constituency conference, it is not stated clearly who appoints people for the electoral position or the nomination. It's not clearly stated. So I think I will read that part for us to know. It says, Article 41, Clause 1 and 2. There shall be Electoral Commission which shall consist of a chairperson who shall also be Electoral Commissioner of the SRC, and 2 deputies and 2 representatives from each campus of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, appointed by the executive officers of the campuses of that campus in consultation with the executive committee of the SRC. I think that part, the representative part, has been made clear on who to appoint, but the chairperson and the 2 deputies, it's not clear on that. So we would like to bring to the House, the observation is that from henceforth, if the House can deliberate on this and pass a resolution so that it make known to the public at the school that it is time for people to apply, so that people will apply for the position as either the EC or the deputy. So when we come here, we vet the people who have applied. So I think that is a reservation that, or the observation that we made as a committee. So the result is 40.14, which Honorable Mr. Rexford Dasa has passed and is the EC chairperson elect, if the Parliament approve or appoints him. But we also have a reservation that we want the House to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I invite Mr. Rexford Dasa and the Ho and Hohoi reps together with Mr. Daniel. Please, sorry if I mispronounced your surname, Mr. Daniel Nina, Arbitration Committee Chair, to be sworn in by the Chief. Please come. Please, you can come forward. The two deputies are absent with permission. Unfortunately, some of them have had this emergency, so they couldn't be present. So we would like to continue the vetting process of the other two deputies on Zoom. I was told by the chairperson of the vetting committee that has been agreed on Zoom, so the deputies will be vetted on Zoom. We'll call a parliamentary meeting and then the vetting will be done. Unfortunately, the whole rep also said he's not so sure about the position again, so we would have to task the executive committee again to renominate someone else. So we can go ahead.
Boss.
brothers and big brother.
Please, order in the house. The CJ is very something. Oh no, it has to.
When you're done swearing in, you give it to me.
As the administrative chairman, do hereby in the name of God swear. Do hereby in the name of God swear. That I will strive at all times to protect, protect, and defend the SRC Constitution. Especially the principle of meticulous accountability. And that I hereby fully dedicate myself. The service and welfare of the students. Of the University of Health and Allied Sciences. I further solemnly swear that I shall not discharge as of the SRC, will place myself on such a position as to frustrate the efficient functions of the said especially the principle of meticulous accountability. And that I hereby fully dedicate myself. that I hereby dedicate myself to the service and welfare of the students. The service and welfare
Hello?
of the University of Ghana.
Hello? Hello?
I further solemnly swear that I shall not be found wanting in the discharge of responsibility. I will not be found wanting in the discharge of responsibility as a member of the nor place myself in such a position as to frustrate the efficient functioning of all of this house. So help me God. So help me God. Yeah, I've been officially sworn in as the offer for the
I, Rexford Asa, on assuming office as the Electoral Commissioner of the SRC,
do hereby in the name of God swear
do hereby in the name of God swear
that I will strive at all times to preserve,
that I will strive at all times to preserve,
protect, and defend the SRC Constitution,
and defend the SRC Constitution,
especially the principles of meticulous accountability, and that I hereby wholly dedicate myself to the service and welfare of the students of the University of Health and Allied Sciences.
to the service and welfare of the students of the University of Health and Allied Sciences.
I further solemnly swear
that
I shall not be found wanting in the discharge of responsibilities
I shall not be found wanting in the discharge of responsibilities
as a member,
as the Electoral Commissioner of the SRC,
nor place myself in such a position as to frustrate the efficient functioning of
the Electoral Commission of the UHAS SRC.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
On your appointment as the new Electoral Commissioner of the SRC, thank you, His Lordship. And I'd like to also thank the vetting committee for doing a thorough work and helping in the appointment of our new EC. I hope that your work will still continue to get us our 2 deputies. Thank you. So we will go on a lunch break now, and it's a 15-minute break. My time is 2:45. Honorable members, we would like to close very early today. So please, in 15 minutes, we should all be back by now. The house is on a lunch.
So you're still with USB CV, and in the last few minutes, the House of Parliament has appointed a new electoral commissioner in person of Mr. Rexford. So he will serve as the electoral chairperson for the SRC. Yes, so that is the news he has for you. Two other people have also been appointed as electoral commissioner, one representing whole campus and the other representing the Hohoi campus. As so there you can see, Parliament is on recess now for I think 15 minutes, and after that they will continue with the rest of the proceeding. So it is official now that we do have an electoral commissioner now, in person of Mr. Rexford. All right. So right now I'm here with the newly appointed SRC chairperson. So how are you feeling now?
I might say happy a bit, but not happy because I have a lot of work on my hands.
Yeah.
So I think that's what is occupying my head now.
Okay, so we know that what happened in the previous election, so many activities took place, and in this year's election, a lot of people are going to pay attention to all these activities. Do you think that the amount of work on you is too huge now, that you are capable of doing it, or you feel that you want to hand over to someone else? I don't know if you get the question.
I have to state clearly that the work that I have, it's an enormous one.
Okay.
Yeah, but I believe in myself that I've worked with other organizations. I've worked with various portfolios. So that has given me the experience to be able to surmount this task. And it's a very difficult one, I must say.
Okay.
But I trust and believe in God that He will give me the strength. I'll be able to take care of it to the best of my abilities.
Okay, so after this, what next? Are you going to open nominations, or you have to set up your committee first?
Okay, so first things first. One is I'll inquire about the appeals of the previous election and how far with it, and also processes around it to be able to get a better understanding of it.
Okay.
Then secondly, now drafting my constitutive instruments is one thing that I've set out to do. So that will be my next thing. Then the final one will be the roadmap to the constitution. So I think within early weeks of July, that's what I've set out to do for the commission.
Okay.
I cannot categorically say that I am in charge of the members, so that one's a work for Parliament. So when they set it up, then we'll see the way forward with that.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Welcome.
So that was the newly sworn into office electoral commissioner, Mr. Reso. Thank you for joining us. And so that has been our coverage of the election of an SRC, election of a not chief justice, sorry, I beg your pardon, election of electoral commissioner. We saw 3 people being elected. We had the first one was the main electoral commissioner. We had a deputy for whole campus, and we had another deputy for Hohoi campus. But however, the deputies for the 2 other will have their vetting being done on Zoom. So that is it. We now have electoral commissioner, so it means that begins the process for the whole election. Thank you so much for joining us here on UHAS TV for our coverage